Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. Touchdowns on liquid air, on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's up, good people? Happy Thursday to you. This is the Pro Fan Talk. This is the hour of power. What is happening? Got a lot of stuff going on. Season starts tomorrow. People still getting cut. Lord have mercy. Crazy predictions. Everybody goes overboard. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Got a lot to talk about today. And I guess people are here for it, man. Excited for this season to get started. I know I am. As I was talking to my guy Zoe the other day, every team's got somebody I want to watch. Now, as soon as I said that, there was some more cuts that came. Golden State, they cut Minya Toure, and somebody else got cut. I can't remember the other name, but a couple of players that I've been looking forward to watching. I'm not ashamed to admit it, I have got infatuated with a lot of the French players. Minya Toure, Dominique Malonga, of course, Gabby Williams, Carla Liette, Marine Johannes, who plays for the New York Liberty. Every one of these French players that I've watched, I've been impressed, and I'm looking forward to watching them play, especially and specifically. Yeah, I saw Deja Kelly get cut. We talked about that the other day. But as far as the French players go, specifically Gabby Williams. I became a Gabby Williams fan when I watched the Olympics, and what she did in that gold medal game was nothing short of spectacular. She was 2 inches short of forcing another overtime. If her foot was about, 2 to 6 inches in a different direction, that would have been a three-pointer, and I think they would have went into overtime. I'm not sure if it would have been a win, but it would have been the overtime. Born Croy, yes, we talked about that a lot the other day, about that is going to move up to the top of the list of things that they need to talk about in the new CBA. Additional roster spots. However, it all depends on how they want to divvy up all of this money they coming into. The new media rights check has not cleared yet. They haven't cashed that check yet. The $2.2 billion over 11 years, I think we worked it out. That's going to be a bonus of $200 million a year for the league. So you got $200 million a year divided by 14 teams, I think it is, or 15 teams. I guess it'll be 16 teams by the time the money comes down, because next year Toronto will be a new team in the W. And then you take into consideration that it looks like Connecticut is going to be moving. So that'll be most likely, that'll be a big market that they're going to go to. So I'm guessing, based on all the rumors that I've been hearing, Boston is the leader in the clubhouse, because they've been the only name that I've heard that are interested in Connecticut. But I know Philadelphia wants a team. And there are a couple of other cities that are looking to get teams, and they don't have to go through the rigmarole of being an expansion. It's just a relocation. So all of the I's have been dotted and the T's have been crossed. So I think the journey in buying a team is a hell of a lot different than becoming an expansion. It's a little bit cheaper. You've already got, I guess, an established brand, so to speak. Now, I don't know, depending on where they go. If they go to Boston, are they going to be the Boston Sun? I doubt it. So whoever buys it, now they can buy low and sell high, because, with the Caitlin Clark effect going on, visibility is at an all-time high, and you can max out with it. So we'll see. Maybe Miami. Okay. Miami, I didn't think about that, but seeing as though looking at what happened with Unrivaled, okay, okay. The Boston Clovers. I hadn't heard that, but I like it. The Boston Clovers. It makes sense. The Clovers, I could see that for a women's team, a women's mascot. Um, huh. What would the mascot be? Even if they had a well, I mean, shit. What was the Suns mascot? They didn't have one, did they? They had a logo, but not a mascot. Not like L or what's the mascot in Indiana? Is it Freddie Fever? So I don't know. They might not even want a mascot. So, but the Boston Clovers, I kind of like that. Kind of like that. Um, yeah, Miami is rough, man. Miami is kind of like Las Vegas. It's too many other things to do in Miami. You know what I mean? LA is kind of the same way too, because nobody in LA is from LA. Everybody are transplants. Vegas, everybody's transplants. So Vegas sells a lot because you got all of the casinos buying up tickets. They can offer it as part of their package. You come in, stay for a week, and you gamble. You get free tickets to the Aces games or something like that. So they can package them in different ways than you can in other places. You know what I mean? You're not. How you gonna do that in Philly? How you gonna do that in Boston? You know what I mean? So some cities have different things that they can sweeten the pot with than others. So we'll see what they do with it. I mean, it's an interesting fact or interesting set of circumstances for the Mohican Sun. Mohican Sun gonna get paid. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Mohegan Sun is one of the Native American casinos up there. And I don't know how much they care about the WNBA or not. Is that one of those places where just a whole bunch of old folks want to go to spend money? I don't know. They might not be worried about the WNBA. I got to look and see what their average attendance is in Connecticut. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Um, yeah, that's F1 though. F1 is different. I'm an F1 fan. Um, F1 kills everywhere though. You know what I'm saying? That's F1 is on another level. But I understand what you're saying. I think it's fun. Um, they're trying to do stuff like that. I don't think F1. I'd be curious to see what the response for F1 is when they were in Texas. Do they go to Texas every year now, or is it Miami and Texas, the two spots in the states, or is it just one or the other? Because I know they went to the track in Austin. I think it's in Austin, Texas, and I thought that was relatively successful. So, but I don't know how it is compares to Miami. But um, the Marlins really, I don't think they're really good in Miami. Um, you got the Heat. Obviously, they kind of dipped down when LeBron James left, but they got a couple championships out of it. Um, the Dolphins. I mean, they're NFL, so they ain't going nowhere. And then you got various other sports down there, and then you got Florida State and University of Miami, all of that type of stuff. So it's, I don't know. I don't know. I have to talk to somebody who's actually in Miami. Are you, PS Devil? Are you actually in Miami? So, you know what? I can't wait to see Kiki play as well. She's a double waiting to happen. We'll see. We'll see. One of my things is like right now, everybody paper tigers, man. And I use that obviously. You need to know what paper tigers are. I'm assuming everybody knows what that means. They look good on paper. But until I see them play at least, anywhere between 6 to 10 games, I got to see something. So, my thing with Kiki Iriafen, I thought Kiki was going to take over when Juju Watkins went down for SC, and she didn't. The game that Juju Watkins got hurt, they had no choice but to go to Kiki, and she had a great game. But the game after that, she was average. She was average. I think Sanaya Rivers, or not, no, Sarah, what's her name? Was it Sarah Marsh? What's her name? Sarah, what's the other game? The other girl from SC had a better game than her. And I just expected her to kind of take over and just, okay, you're the You're the second best player on the team, and you're the best player of the team now that Juju Watkins is hurt. So you need to take over this game. And she didn't. She didn't. She had an average game. I think she scored like 10, 12 points or whatever, but it was hardly what I would call a dominant game. And they ended up losing. So, yeah, I want to see Sonia Citron. Definitely want to see Sonia Citron. I actually did another treatment um, of this thumbnail because I had somebody on Facebook say the same thing. They was like Sonia Citron. I was like, ooh, I forgot to put her on there. But I didn't want to make it. I was gonna put all of the rookies on one page. I was like, that'd be too much. So I was like, let me pick the hot four. And to be honest with you, I would have put Citron over Pow Pow, but Pow Pow had that game the other day versus Indiana. Everybody started, now her name is out there. And again, I want to see her play. I want to see her play. I really want to see Dominique Malonga and Gabby Williams. Definitely want to see them too. I want to see Dominique Malonga get the opportunity to dunk on somebody. I already know that Kiki Iriafen can dunk. She just don't do it. So hopefully they'll get the opportunity in the W to catch a fast break. But more than that, I want to see them get the ball down low and just pivot and just go up and yank it on somebody, man. That's what I really want to see. It just, demoralize another team like that. Just take their heart. So that would be fun to see. But we'll see. Yeah. Yeah. Roster expansion is definitely going to be a plus. 14 to 15. 2 extra spots or 3 extra spots. And this is like, here's the thing. If they, whatever they go up to, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 extra spots, they got to do at least, I would say at least 2. That would make more sense. So go up to expand the roster to 14 people. That would be good. 15 would be max. 14 would be good. But when you expand the roster, that means you're going to limit the max that you can pay players. Or I should say, you're going to limit I'm confusing myself and how I'm thinking about it. So let me think. Okay, I got it. Okay. The minimum salary for WNBA players must go up. It is my opinion that the minimum salary for WNBA players should be at least 150. At least that should be the bottom, not 68 or whatever they paying them. It has to be at least 150. That's what I'm saying. That's what the minimum salary should be for like rooks coming out. 150. Now the max, I know I heard what Enrique said, and every team should have $1 million player. And I'm like, you ain't quite there yet. You ain't quite there yet. If they get $1 million player, it's going to have to be on NIL stuff. It's not going to be what the team can pay, because I don't think teams are there yet, especially when they still paying off what they subsidize from the NBA. So it's just, to me, now, maybe I don't have the money right. I need to find somebody who is a business genius that is in that line of work. And the question should be what does the WNBA have to do to be profitable? I think that they will be profitable within 5 years, especially when they get these new media rights money, because the media rights money is only going to go up because you're going to have more streaming platforms, more opportunities, and everybody wants to get in on the Caitlin Clark explosion. And now's the time to do it. Now you can sell high. The league can. And that's why the Indiana Fever are on 41 friggin' times this year. As an Indiana fan and a Caitlin Clark fan, to me, that's a little much. But I understand why they did it. I'm somebody that grew up. I was born in 1970. So I came up in the 70s through the 80s. The 80s, that was my teenage years. So you really start paying attention and you are really influenced by what you see on television and stuff like that. And when I came up in the 80s, that was the Jordan era. That's when Jordan happened, 1984. ESPN highlights and all of that type of stuff. That happened in the early 80s. And it just took off from there. So I think with the way television works now, I'm sure in another 2-3 years, there's going to be some type of new streaming revenue. That's just the way things are evolving. So the money is going to continue to go up because there's more and more platforms that are going to be streaming this stuff. So I'm guessing that the W is going to get a good amount from a lot of different places. It's not going to get a lot from a few places. It's going to get not as much from a lot more places. And we talked about this before with the state of the WNBA, or with the state of the NBA right now. Everybody's down on the NBA. Now, granted, the playoffs this year has been relatively good. Relatively good. My grandson watches the NBA, and for everything that I've heard, this year's finals run and the playoffs has been must-see TV. But on the whole, the NBA is down. Everybody's pissed off about the lottery and the Dallas Mavericks getting the first pick. Nobody's happy about that after what they did with Doncic, with Luka, and just the way it wasn't a good look. Do I think they cheated? Absolutely not. I do not believe that. There's too many eyes on the NBA, and there's too many eyes on professional sports. I do not think they cheated. I just think Murphy's Law happened. The worst possible outcome could happen because they know the optics of that does not look good. You get some rich owner comes in, buys the team, and then they get rid of the franchise player. And he doesn't want to go. And it comes off as the new owner just saying, screw you to the fans. And that's never a good thing. But they did all of that, and Dallas gets the first pick. Not a good thing. But yeah, Carlos, I agree with you, bro. Even with the ratings down, the WNBA still has the ways to go. However, do I think that the WNBA is going to catch them? Absolutely not. I do not think that, but they don't have to. All they do is have to gain ground. All they do is have to get a good enough market share. That's it. They're never going to take over the NBA. That's not going to happen. But what you can do is get your viewership up. What you can do, you already see it happening with the NCAA women. Viewership is up across college basketball and everything. Was it as good as it was? Was the NCAA tournament as good as it was when Caitlin Clark was there? No. But the floor went up. You had Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese was here. Then you had Dawn Staley was here with Caitlin Clark. Because Dawn Staley ended up going undefeated. And then it drops. But when it drops, that bottom was a little bit higher than it was a couple years ago. What that means is it's trending in the right direction. So as long as the bottom is higher than it was the previous years, there's your growth. Appreciate you, Brandon. Again, the NBA owns 60% of the W. That's what the players never mention. Absolutely. You're 100% right. That's one thing that they conveniently tend to forget to mention in all of these conversations. So, but even with that, because now you got one thing, is the WNBA going to try to buy its way out of the subsidization? Subsidization. Say that 3 times fast. Can they? Well, if they can't do that with $200 million a year. Because first of all, are they going to pay back the 28 years that they borrowed? Can they do that? I don't know. With interest? I don't know. I don't know how that works. Not that the NBA needs that money. Let's keep it real. The NBA, the NFL, and Major League Baseball, they print money. so they don't need it. But they gonna get their money. So if it's been if it's been 30 years that they've been subsidized and they subsidize at what they get what 40 million a year or something like that, 25 million, 25 times 30. So that's 750, three-quarters of $1 billion that they would have to pay the NBA to pay off that debt. And that's just a guesstimate. I don't know what the exact number is. That's just a guesstimate. But I think the NBA gives them 25 million a year. So but with I mean, listen, media revenue is where it's at. Media revenue is where it's at. And honestly, this year, Kathy Engelbert has to do something with the WNBA website slash social media slash YouTube slash because that's a viable revenue stream now. That's a legitimate way. That's why we all doing content creation on YouTube. That's a viable revenue stream. That's a viable second job. Not to mention if you can put out something where you looking at, you got 20, 30, 40,000 viewers for a live event for 3 to 4 hours. So look how much you go on ESPN, the ESPN YouTube channel, and you look at how many views they get from their videos consistently every week. Because everybody that watched Stephen A. Smith gonna go back and watch the video if they couldn't watch the live show. Why you think they didn't fire Joy Taylor? Are you crazy? Joy Taylor is just like Stephen A. Smith now. There's so many people that just don't like her. Whether you're biased because of the way she looks, if you don't think she's any good, for whatever reason. There's a ton of people that like her. There's a ton of people that hate her. But everybody's watching to see the train wreck. Everybody's watching. Same with Stephen A. Smith. Same with Uncle Ocho. All of this stuff that's going on with Shannon Sharp. Everybody's still watching. Yes, he had to take down some of the sponsors because they don't want to be involved with the SA and all of that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, he still got people watching him. He still got a couple thousand people watching him when him and Ocho Cinco get on the mic. And that money pays well. So yesterday, I hit 7,000 and I'm trying to get to 10. So that stuff adds up and you keep grinding. And that is a viable source of income now for a lot of these professional entities because they can't get it done on ESPN no more. They can't get it done on Fox. They can't get it done on NFL Network. They got to figure out a different way. Why you think they paid Pat McAfee all of that damn money? They had to do it. They had to do it. Or they was going to pull a Toys R Us. Everybody on the chat, everybody remember Toys R Us. It's me, somebody that was into toys and into, always been into video games and stuff like that. I spent plenty of time, and I got grandkids now. I spent plenty of time in Toys R Us, waiting in line for GameCube back in the day, all of that type of stuff. Toys R Us used to be the spot. And what happened with Toys R Us and why I make the comparison between Toys R Us and ESPN was because Toys R Us never got their digital footprint because they were the biggest, the best game in town. They were the only game in town in some places. It was Toys R Us and nowhere else because Toys R Us put all the mom and shop hobby places out of business. Because you could just go to Toys R Us and then Amazon put Toys R Us out of business. But what the problem that Toys R Us did, they were so used to being the only game in town that they never bothered to get their website together and stuff like that. And by the time they did it, it was too late because Amazon was kicking everybody's ass. Borders Books, same thing. It was Borders Books, and what's the other place now that's still around? You can still find them in some places. But they go on the way of the dodo bird. They didn't get that digital footprint or a place where you could order online because they didn't think they had to. And by the time they tried to play catch up, Amazon undercut everybody. If you go watch the story of Amazon purposefully undercut themselves. They were losing money on every sale on purpose because they knew it would get to a point where it didn't matter. I'm buying on Amazon. And they just waited. They lost money, lost money, lost money, lost money. And then when they were the only game in town, when their sales started going through the roof, that's when the prices started going up and they made their money back. Don't nobody who goes shopping no more. I used to work at a mall. I used to work at the Apple store in the mall up here in New Jersey. And people used to pay extra to have store space by the Apple store because that was how popular we were. Macy's wanted to be on our side. Stores, if you had a storefront that was in the vicinity where you could actually see the Apple store, that real estate in the mall cost more money because they knew Apple was going to bring more traffic. Now, ain't nobody going to malls no more. So I'm saying all that to say the WNBA has to get their digital footprint. They got to get somebody in there to do a much better job than they've been doing. This is, in my opinion, this is the biggest thing where Kathy Engelbert has stumbled. But I understand because, quite simply, they ain't got the money to budget that. Because if you gonna spend a boatload of money in that aspect, that means you got to take money somewhere else, and they can't afford to do it right now. Not until this media rights check clears. So, so we'll see what they do. Appreciate that, by the way, Brandon. Go through some of these chats. Totally agree. NBA is to keep float. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people are really down on Kathy Engelbert because I guess they don't like the way she do business, but I'm not, because whether you like her or not, if it was not for Kathy Engelbert, the WNBA would have folded because of COVID. Period. The interview with Cat Williams paid Shannon probably more than his playing career. You're probably right. You're probably right. And listen, Carlos, on that note, I don't understand why the WNBA hasn't stepped in and tried to make this happen. I don't understand why they haven't done something with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. I don't understand that. That's something where Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and the commissioner should do some type of promotion together. I do not understand why that has not happened. Caitlin Clark is the most popular athlete in the United States right now, damn near in the world. You can put her on that top 10 list in the global athletes now. You can do that. She's that popular. Angel Reese is the most popular WNBA player on social media. It's not even close. It's not even close. Plus the rivalry and all of the bullshit and the narrative that people be trying to start one way or the other. It's all bullshit. Caitlin Clark ain't said nothing about nobody. Now, I will say Angel Reese has probably stuck her foot in her mouth a couple times, but you know what? She's standing on it, and she putting her name on it, and she's not running from it. Now, I might not agree with some of the stuff that she says, and I'm not even going to say I don't agree with a lot of the stuff, because it's only been maybe one or two times where she said stuff, and I was like, I might have skipped that comment. But it's not often. In my opinion, it's not often enough where you got to say, like, somebody need to tell her to just be quiet for a while. In my opinion, it's not at that point. Not even close. She is the most popular athlete on social media. Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark is arguably one of the most popular athletes in the world at this point. Why hasn't Kathy Engelbert get something together? It could be corny. It could be whatever. It could be whatever. Find a common ground. If she wearing Nikes and she wearing Adidas, I don't know. But find some common ground. You can cut their legs off. You ain't gotta show their feet. or just have him wearing some all whites where you can't see the logo. Do something. But I don't understand why that has not happened. It's clear that they don't hate each other. That's the narrative that the people are trying to throw out there. People that love Angel Reese are quick to say how much they hate or how much they hate what's going on with Caitlin Clark. People that love Caitlin Clark love to say how much they hate what's going on with Angel Reese or what she says or what she does. And now it's funny because I'm looking at we'll get into this a little bit later because now I'm seeing a lot of these thumbnails for content, and immediately I'm looking at it and I'm like, nope, that's AI. Because Angel Reese didn't say that shit. Fee Collier didn't say that shit. Asia Wilson didn't say that. That's not what she said. So I'm looking at the thumbnail titles and I'm like, I see what they're doing. Asia Wilson says Caitlin Clark should be banned. Asia Wilson ain't say that shit. What are you doing? So now everybody jumping on the clickbait. And then I'm looking at the views and I'm like, yep, that's exactly what they're doing. So people are trying to push the negative narrative and they don't have to. They don't have to. How come I can't like Caitlin Clark and also really like Angel Reese? How come you can't do both? You can, but people want to challenge you one way or the other. And it's like, nah. I remember that last year. I would be in Caitlin Clark groups on Facebook, going back and forth and just putting some just general stuff in there. And I kind of got into it with this person, We were texting back and forth, give me a break. But they were getting upset because it was after a game, Indiana lost. They did that a lot last year, but Caitlin Clark did not have a good game. And I was like, her jump shot wasn't falling. She was slow to move on defense. And when she wasn't getting calls, her body language sucked. Now, me being a coach and being a pro player, I know what the hell I'm looking at. Film don't lie. But in that group, everybody was like, why are you being so negative? If you don't like her, why are you in this group? And I'm like, don't like her. I was like, what's this got to do with the game that she played? Two things can be true. I can like Caitlin Clark, and I can say that Caitlin Clark played a shitty game. That's what I just saw. But my point in saying all of that is people go ham one way or the other. They want to go too far. And for those of you who have been rocking with me since I started this, y'all know my perspective as a former player. Even though it was in the NFL, I still see things the same way. I still try to keep it 100 because film don't lie. Film don't lie. Caitlin Clark a couple times last year, her attitude was shitty when she wasn't getting calls. And it was all over her face. And I remember saying it last year. If I was another team playing Caitlin Clark and we in one of them games where she just not getting the calls, I would go at her ass every play. Get her so frustrated and get her mind out of the game. She's consistent at that. Hopefully she'll be better this year. So I don't know. People gonna go one way or the other. I'm just excited to get this started, get it popping. Now we seeing the questions about is Caitlin Clark gonna be one of the top point guards in the league? I don't know. Is she one of the top point guards now? I would rank her like number 3 or 4, maybe. I was trying to put a list together. Here's my list of top point guards right now. Jewel Lloyd would be number 1. Chelsea Gray would be number 2. The only reason Chelsea Gray is not number 1 is because Chelsea Gray didn't play last year. She really didn't do much in the Olympics. She was hurt last year, and the only thing we've seen of Chelsea Gray is what she did in Unrivaled. So I'm not going to put her at the top of the list because she made a couple of plays in Unrivaled. I know she's got potential, and I know she balled before she got hurt. So I'm putting her at number 2. I'll put Caitlin Clark at number 3. I believe she led all the guards in scoring and assists. She had 8.6 assists, but I'm going to deduct like 5 assists out of that 8.6 because she averaged like 5.6 turnovers a game. That shit matters. Because if I can add the score, because to me, if you averaging 20 points a game, but you average 8 assists, then you're responsible for 36 points. The 20 that you scored and the 16 that was scored from your assist, assuming they were all buckets and not 3-pointers, because some of them are going to be threes. So it might be even more than that. But when you got the turnovers, you deduct it. At least that's what I do. That's the logic that goes on in my head. And I think that's fair. Do I think she'll turn the ball over as much this year? No. Because now we getting into what I say, knowing your personnel. And this goes across the league. Now, she's used to Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston, but she got a couple new people in there. She's used to Lexi Hull. Sophie Cunningham is new. Natasha Howard is new. DeWanna Banner is new. So let's see if they can catch the passes that they was dropping last year, because they was dropping a lot of passes. It wasn't all on her, but guess what? In the stat box, it doesn't say such and such. It doesn't say Nelissa Smith dropped the pass. Erica Wheeler dropped the pass. All it says is turnover. So she got to eat that. And to me, that's fair. Sabrina Ionescu is number 4, and I got Skylar Diggins number 5. That's just my list. You can argue it. You can have your own list. When it comes to lists and stuff like that, whoever your favorite is, for me, the answer is always yes. Whoever you put at the top 5 or whoever you put as your number 1, the answer is yes. It is not up to me to convince you otherwise, because I'm the type of person, like I said, this is all paper tigers. We will see on the court. On the court, everything is going to play itself out. So we'll see if Caitlin Clark can be just as good as she was last year. We're going to see if Angel Reese is going to average a double-double like she did last year. We're going to see if Haley Van Lith is really any good at this level. Is Paige Beckers any really good at this level? Is Sonia Citron going to come on like we think she will? I don't know. But it's going to play itself out. So whoever you got on your list, roll with it, rock with it. Yes, I agree with you. If you got Chelsea Gray as number 1, yes. I ain't going to argue with you because I saw Chelsea Gray do some things. I want to see her do it in the W. Like I said, she was hurt last year. Tiff, if you got HVL coming on and making an impact, I want to see it. I want to see what she can do. I'm with you. I want to see HVL cross somebody over and take it to the rack. So, HVL can get it. I want to see everybody succeed. I want to see all of these rookies play, because every rookie that gets a little shine makes the league better. Because up until the last, really up until last year, in my opinion, the follow-through from college, from the NCAA to the WNBA was not good. Was not good. How many people, at least, and for those of you who have watched the WNBA longer than me, and again, I ain't got no problem saying this. This will be my 2nd year invested in the WNBA. 3 years ago, I couldn't name 5 WNBA players. I could not. But now I'm invested. So I'm not going to really speak on what happened 5 and 10 years ago. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on YouTube and see what happened in them games like everybody else does. I didn't watch the games. So I got to, when it comes to going way back, I got to go do my homework. But I will try to do that because now I'm invested in the sport. So we'll see what they're going to do. What's up, Wody Matt? They do track points accounted for. You have to look at it, but yes, these. Yeah. Assisted threes are tracked under accounted for points. There you go. Okay. I mean, that's fair. That makes sense. I like to try to keep it 100. I want to see everybody succeed. I'm not going to hate on just like last year when everybody was talking that shit about Angel Reese. She gets her own rebounds, she stat padding, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, time out. Time out. All I know is the girl was on the court and there was another girl on the court and they weren't on the same team. But when them two people went up for a rebound, Angel Reese was the one that came down with the rebound. And now you telling me it don't count? So that means that the other person just stood there and let her do it? Is that what we saying? Get out of here with that. If she was on the court and it was in play and she got that rebound, she got that rebound. Because it was always somebody else that had ample opportunity to get it as well, and they couldn't do it. So you know what? As far as I'm concerned, Angel Reese was killing them on them boards, and couldn't nobody match her. Because if it was that easy, they would have. So stop playing. Yeah. Is Jewel Lloyd a point guard or is she a point forward? Alicia Thomas. Is she a point? She's not. She's a point forward. Alyssa Thomas has got more triple doubles than any guard in the league, doesn't she? But she a forward. So, again, yes, I like Jewel Lloyd. Jewel Lloyd was the first player I followed that was outside of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Kelsey Mitchell doesn't count. Because y'all know my story with Kelsey Mitchell. If you don't know my story with Kelsey Mitchell, put a thumbs up in the chat. I'll tell it to you. But I've told this story a couple times, so most people know. But if you want to hear it again, put a thumbs up in the chat. But Jewel Lloyd was one of the first ones I watched because just watching the league and I'm like, okay, let me see what else is going on. I like Jewel Lloyd. I like to watch her play. So I started watching her. And then I started watching Jonquel Jones because I would watch New York. And of course, I'm big on, I don't want to watch the popular people. I watched Sabrina because I saw Sabrina when she did the thing with Steph Curry, the 3-point contest. So I had name recognition. I watched Kelsey Plum because I didn't know Kelsey Plum. I didn't know who Kelsey Plum was. I thought Kelsey Plum was a flag football quarterback because I kept seeing that damn meme of Kelsey Plum throwing T-shirts in the stands at a game, at an NBA game. And I was like, who is this person? And she was, I guess she saw her father in the stands and threw him. He was in one of the suites and she threw a good pass and it looked like, I was like, oh, she knew how to throw the rock. So I thought she was like a flag football or a 7-on-7 girls quarterback. And then when I finally saw her, I was like, oh, that's so, oh. And then the light bulb went on. Like, okay, now I'm putting 2 to 2 together. So, but I did watch Jonquel. The point is I was looking for people because I was trying to familiarize myself with other players in the league. Because again, I grew up in the 80s. The 80s were my formative years. 10 years old to 20 years old, from 80 to 90, right? And a lot of people who didn't watch basketball all of a sudden became Michael Jordan fans. Well, who else have you watched? Well, I'm just a Jordan fan. Well, then you're not a basketball fan. You're a Jordan fan. I didn't want to be one of those people. When the only person you can talk about is one person. Like, nah. I'm not just a Jordan fan. Yes, I like Jordan, but I also like Pippen. And I also like Dennis Rodman when he used to play for the Pistons, and Isaiah Thomas, and Karl Malone, and John Stockton, and Larry Nance, and Dr. J. And I used to like all of them dudes, Larry Bird, and all of them. Tom Chambers. Tom Chambers was the first guy I ever watched, and I was like, oh, this white boy can dunk. He is nasty. That was the time we were in. So I say all that to say I didn't want to be like one of those people that just you only knew one person. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to get familiar. In my PF Flyers. You got jokes, Carlos. You got jokes. So Skylar, to me, Skylar is she's streaky. She get on, she get off, but to me, it seemed like more people knew her from her off the court stuff, the temper tantrums and all of that type of stuff. And then she made sure to let everybody know when she came back this year, it was Skylar Diggins, not Skylar Diggins Smith, and like all of that type of stuff. And it's like, really? Okay, your prerogative. I ain't mad at you. So, um, so listen, Dan, is because this was me. When I look at the points and what people are doing, this is my opinion. You ain't got to agree with it. I'm not trying to convince nobody. and you say, I don't know what I'm talking about. Because when I looked up, I'll tell you what that is. I can tell you right now. Because I just saw it. Because Jewel Lloyd, you got him listed as guard. And that's when I was looking up the stats. That's where that came from. They got her listed as a guard. So if you want to say she's a point guard or a point forward, I don't matter to me. I look at the results. I don't care where she play at. But there was plenty of times when Jewel Lloyd was bringing the ball up the court. So who's running the show? But, maybe I should just say who's the best guard. Does it really matter? Who's bringing the ball up the court? I mean, I saw Aaliyah Boston bring the ball up the court a couple times. Who's controlling the clock? Who's controlling the ball? Who's controlling the tempo? Who's running the play? Who's bringing the ball up the court doing like this? Calling the play. Who's doing that? That's who's running the show. Absolutely. You got point guards, you got point forwards, you got shooting guards, shooting forwards, and then they mix it up depending on what play. So again, like I said, I'm not trying to convince anybody one way or the other. That's my list based on my experience when I started watching the league. I know there's other point guards better than Jewel Lloyd, but based on what I was seeing, that's my list. You ain't got to agree with it. You ain't got to agree with it. So, like, even I saw the one thing. What was it? What was it? It was asking the question. Oh, there was we talked about that. Is so then put it in the chat. We'll answer the question now, and it's all based on your opinion. Ain't no right or wrong answers. You can argue it, or I can agree to disagree. But who's the best point guard in the league right now? Or let's streamline it. Who's the best guard in the league? Put it in the chat. Who you think is the best guard? If you think it's Skylar, put Skylar. If you think it's Jewel, or you think it's Sabrina, I think Sabrina is one of the best. But after that performance in the finals, because to me, you got to be able to perform when it counts. And Sabrina had a not good finals. They ended up winning, and she ended up hitting that one shot. But other than that one shot, it was not good. It was not good. So, yeah, that's a good question, Alchemist. And in my opinion, it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. Because the eye test, because this is where watching the games really comes into play. Because you can watch somebody play and then you see their stats and it's like, that was a quiet day. I thought she did more. Or I thought, sometimes the game doesn't roll, or you can see somebody that's all over the court and then you look at they like, damn, they only had 10 points? Really? Like, so a lot of times the eye test does matter. Did somebody were you up by 25 points and such hit a couple of threes late in the game when the game was already over? So instead of 12 points, they got 18 points in the game. But it really didn't come off like that. You know what I'm saying? So the eye test matters. Numbers don't lie, but they do deceive. So that is why you really have to watch the game sometimes, because the stats can deceive you a little bit. If somebody got 20 points, but if such and such got hurt early in the game, and that's the person that's supposed to be guarding you, or things happen. So the eye test really does matter, man. Really does matter. These W cuts are stressful. Patrick, I agree with you. Um, yeah, I definitely agree with you. Yo, Dan, I missed Sue Bird. Now I know Skylar was good a while ago, but I totally missed Sue Bird. When I started watching the W, Sue Bird was already gone. So, heck, I was mad when Candace Parker walked away. I wanted to see Candace Parker and Angel Reese play together. I was like, if Angel Reese would have played with Candace Parker for just 1 year, and she could have absorbed, you knew Candace was going to teach her some things. That would have been ridiculous. Ridiculous. But I didn't get to see Sue Bird play. I mean, I can go in and watch her and watch Ella Don Don and all of them. I can go back and watch and play, but I was not paying attention to the W at that particular time. And everybody that I've seen was like, Sue Bird was nasty. If I wanted to go watch one person, well, I mean, I could say Candace Parker, but I saw Candace Parker play. I had a conversation the other day. Candace Parker was the threshold. Candace Parker broke the threshold. People that didn't follow women's basketball knew who Candace Parker was. She broke through. But for me, if I'm gonna turn on somebody and be like, if you want to show somebody that would try to make that after they saw this person, they would want to watch the WNBA. For me, it would have been Tina Thompson. Because Tina Thompson was nasty. She had that turnaround jumper. She could hit the baseline. She was quick. Her mids, like Tina Thompson, is like somebody I would want to watch. And of course, you could go back and look at early Cheryl Swoops. And I mean, there's a ton of players out there, but just that was the one that captured me. So yeah, Courtney Vandersloot out of nowhere, man. Yep. But that was before I knew who she was and I knew what she did. But I didn't watch her. I watched her this past year with New York. But again, before before 2022 or 2023, I really didn't watch the W. I did not watch the W. I watched I'll give you a little bit of the Kelsey Mitchell story. I watched Kelsey Mitchell. I did not watch the W. I watched to watch her, period, for personal reasons. But I didn't watch the league. If I knew she was going to be on TV, I might check it out. And again, she played in Indiana. So Indiana wasn't on TV a lot. Somebody on the Indiana YouTube channel posted a picture from like a preseason game like in 2021 or something like that. And it looked like it was like 500 people in the arena to what it looks like now. And they were kind of tracking the growth. I was like, that's cool to see because they deserve it. They deserve it. They having a Jordan moment. And we call it the Jordan moment when, in my opinion, Caitlin Clark is more like Tiger Woods than Michael Jordan. And I say that because the people in the NBA were still watching, and it did bring a lot more attention. But Jordan didn't do what Tiger Woods did. Tiger Woods there was nobody watching golf. And what Tiger Woods did, he brought all that attention to the game, and then all of a sudden, you had a bunch of black folks watching golf, going to tour events, stuff like that. So, in my opinion, the Tiger Woods effect was greater than what Jordan did, because Jordan, he just pretty much galvanized and increased the fan base. for the NBA fans that were already there. Because now you had people from other teams that was going to games. I was like, well, Jordan coming to play. I don't like the Bulls, but I want to see Jordan. Tiger Woods had people that didn't give a damn about golf, watching golf. And to me, that's what Caitlin Clark is doing. Because now you got a lot of men that wouldn't necessarily watch women's basketball or women's anything for that matter, started watching. So to me, she's more of Tiger Woods than she would be of Jordan. But I understand the comparison because it's basketball, and because of the popularity she's just injected into the game. So a little bit of both. Yeah, Cooper, Cynthia Cooper, and Maya Moore, absolutely, absolutely. Um, Vance, do you think Cynthia Cooper was better than Tina Thompson? Cynthia Cooper was nasty. Now Tina Thompson was woof. Yeah, yeah. Maya Moore was nasty. Um, yeah, man. But it's just like one of the things that I always said, like, and I started saying this last year when the Caitlin Clark hype really hit its peak, because you had the Caitlin Clark hype and then you had the anti Caitlin Clark, right? But here's what I say, and you can't argue this. At least I don't believe you can. I don't know what it is about Caitlin Clark. It's not just because she's white. It's a little bit more than the logo threes. She she had the recipe. It's a little bit more than the whole moment with Angel Reese. It's a little more to it than that, because Caitlin Clark was doing things before that Angel Reese meeting. You know what I'm saying? Now I do agree that there's some cause and effect there with Angel Reese in that game, but for whatever reason, Caitlin Clark had the recipe, and I say it like that because some of the things that usually happen for athletes like that didn't really happen to her. She was just good. And the first thing is like, well, she ain't gonna be able to keep hitting them shots when she get to the league. Well, guess what? She did. She kept hitting them shots. She kept shooting them threes. And when she was at Iowa, it was the same thing. Like, nah, she playing at Iowa, bro. She can't keep doing this. And she kept doing it and kept doing. She had the recipe. I don't know what that recipe is, and everybody ain't got it. Like, if you look at Steph Curry when he got in the league, and then go back and look at some of the stuff that people were saying about Steph Curry his rookie year. He was a legacy. You got to do more than just shoot threes. You got to do this. You got to do that. And all of a sudden, he couldn't miss. He had the recipe. And he took some of the shine from LeBron. And LeBron has been the LeBron and Tiger Woods. I will say that LeBron and Tiger Woods have been the only two athletes that I've seen. I'm trying to think of who else I could say. LeBron, Tiger Woods, Ken Griffey Jr., Otani. Um, I'm trying to think of how many athletes have we seen like that came out of high school and immediately they were as advertised. I remember when Darius Miles came out, and no, he wasn't it. Shaq came out, but he went to school for a couple years. He went to LSU. So it's not too many people that can come out, even the ones that Shaq came out and was as advertised. That class with Shaquille O'Neal and all of them was one of the best ever, because you had Shaquille and you had Penny and you had like Kenyon Martin and all of them. When they played at Cincinnati, him, Corey Blunt, all of them came out. They was playing at Cincinnati, my hometown. I remember that. I was like, whoa, Cincinnati got a good team now. So yeah, I'm seeing some more. Tamika, oh my God, Tamika Catchings was nasty. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, Houston was the big draw back in the day. Houston was the big draw. They had big crowds. If you go back and you look at some of them games, there was a lot of people in them games. Them arenas was packed. So yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, um, Serena. Serena's another one. Venus happened, everybody was like, okay, she's really good. When Serena happened, because I remember seeing that match when Venus was like, wait till my sister gets here. She's better than me. And people really didn't understand what she was saying. And when Serena just came on the scene and tore it up, and everybody was mad. And the same thing happened. You had a lot of black folks watching tennis. Hadn't The only black player, the black tennis player you could name was Arthur Ashe. Let's keep it real. And Serena brought a whole nother culture to the game. And they hated it because she was winning. And all of the shit they did, and it was some isms in there. So, it happens. It happens. And now you got, and listen, when I saw uh um when King Griffey Jr. happened. Now it might be a little bit too old. I played against King Griffey Jr. in high school. We both from Cincinnati. So I knew him in high school. And he was that good in high school. He didn't even have to go. I don't even know how much time he spent in the minor leagues. It was not long when they called him up. And he was one of the ones that was as advertised. So, you know, this year is going to be a good one. This year is going to be a good one. I am looking forward to a lot of the, like I said, a lot of the French players I've been paying attention to, and they're going to be good. Um, so we're looking at some of the final rosters: Nika Agumike, Skylar Diggins, Gabby Williams. Gabby Williams is why I'm watching Seattle. Gabby Williams is why I'm watching Seattle. Gabby Williams and Dominique. Gabby Williams got me in the Olympics. I'm sorry. I was a fan. And then you heard the stories of what happened when she was in Chicago and all of that. I like, yeah, I'm a fan. And then they got babyface Yuru, Lee Yuru from China, the 6'7" girl. I call her babyface because she got a baby face. So I liked her when she was in. She played with the Sparks last year. So Caitlin plays in the fearless way. People like, yeah, she does. She does. She got some. She got some things that I don't like as somebody that coach, and some of the stuff that I'm looking for. I'm not real thrilled with her body language at times, but that could be anybody. That could be anybody. So that's a nitpick that I've got. Um, you never know what CC will do, pass, drive, or deep three. Absolutely, absolutely. She's gonna be better at passing this year, and she will not have as many turnovers. One thing WNBA needs to do is implement conferences properly. Um, I don't disagree. I still don't think they have enough players yet. They don't have enough teams yet. So they doing what they got to do. You know, um, it is what it is. Danica, no, stop it. Danica Patrick, no. Danica Patrick was not a good driver. She won that, and I'm let me say this, because when Danica Patrick happened, I was a NASCAR fan. I still am a NASCAR fan. I just don't watch it as much because I'm watching WNBA. I'd rather watch F1 than NASCAR, but I was a NASCAR fan. Went to a couple races, went down to North Carolina to Charlotte Raceway. Um, I've been to a couple races up at Dover, been in the pits, been in the drivers' meetings. Um, yeah, I'm a NASCAR fan. So Dale Jarrett was my guy. So I know what I'm talking about. Danica Patrick was not a good NASCAR driver. She was a publicity stunt that worked. Even when she was in Indy, like IndyCar racing. She won that one race, and I had to give her credit because she won the one. She won the race. The dude that was in front of her ran out of gas, and then people tried to poo-poo her because of that. And I was like, oh no, 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 no. It's like people win races like that all the time, and you don't never, you gamble when you run out of fuel. And they gambled and they didn't make it on that last lap, and Danica ended up winning. I believe that was what happened with her. But when you watch the other races and when she got in the NASCAR, she was not good in NASCAR. She was not good in NASCAR. So I'm not gonna give you Danica, bro. She had the looks, but in my opinion, she was not as good as she thought she was. So they were just people that were better. Um, yeah, Cynthia Cooper delivered when it counted, making her the Reggie Jackson of the WNBA. Okay. The W has more talented players than ever before. It should be good. Lots of blanched teams. So the game should be, yeah, there's a lot more parity in the league this year, which is going to be good. Um, who do I think is going to win on Saturday? New to the channel. Thank you for coming. Make sure you subscribe. Don't be a stranger. Be part of the team. Who do I think is going to win on Saturday? Let's see. Let's look at the schedule for Saturday. So let's look at Friday first. Let's look at tomorrow. So we got Atlanta at Washington. I think Atlanta might take that game. Minnesota at Dallas. Minnesota's going to win that game because they got Fee Collier. So, and then you got Los Angeles and Golden State. Los Angeles is going to win that game. Listen, look out for Rickea Jackson. Rickea Jackson got overlooked last year. She had a good rookie season, but she just got overshadowed with the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese stuff. But I think Rickea Jackson going to put it down this year. And when Cam Brink comes back, the Sparks going to be, they're going to be somebody to watch. Saturday, you got Las Vegas at New York. That's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one. Asia Wilson's got a chip on her shoulder. She's got a legitimate chip on her shoulder because she got all of this I was here first stuff going on. So Asia Wilson going to come out swinging. Believe that. But New York are the defending champions. They're the defending champions. And one of my new favorite players on New York is Marine Johannes, another girl from France. I want to see her play. Chicago and Indiana, that's going to be a good game. I think Indiana might take that one. Although Chicago, listen, while everybody's looking at Angel Reese, y'all better be paying attention to Camila Cardoso. That's what you need to be paying attention to. Camila Cardoso. Because Camila Cardoso started the year and got hurt last year. Camila Cardoso played in China in the offseason, and she did work. She did work. So Camila is going to be ready to play. And I believe Tyler Marsh is going to make Camila the go-to rather than Angel. So I think Angel's points are going to be down. She's still going to get her rebounds, but I think her point total might be down a little bit because I think they're going to try to go to Camila a lot more. And Camila ain't no joke. So we'll see how they use them. So that's going to be a good one, but I'm thinking Indiana's going to take that one. Because Natasha Howard, not for nothing, man. And again, remember my comment about Paper Tigers. Remember my comment about Paper Tigers. Indiana's got a better team on paper. On paper. But until I see them play for real, you don't know what's going to happen. Now, having said that, Natasha Howard does not look like she's been in the league for 11 years. DeWanna Bonner does not look like she's been in the league for 17. Now, I think Natasha Howard is going to have a bigger impact than DeWanna Bonner. DeWanna Bonner is going to be there. She's going to be solid. I think she's a better version like Tammy Fack Bentley was. And I think DeWanna Bonner is a better scorer than Fack Bentley was. So DeWanna Bonner can hit a three and hit a mid-range. So that's going to help the offense a little bit more. Natasha Howard is going to be getting the rebounds, hustle plays, and what I saw from her in the preseason, I was like, I'm impressed because she does not look like she's been in the league for 10 something years, 11 years. She just doesn't. She's still moving quickly on the court and can make things happen. Sophie Cunningham she surprised me. I'm not expecting Sophie Cunningham to drop 18 a game, but I'm expecting, just like we get from Lexi Hull, a lot of hustle plays out of Sophie and somebody to stir the pot a little bit when that needs to be done. You already know she's gonna do that. So I'm thinking Indiana's gonna take that, but I know it's kind of a cop out, but it would not surprise me if Chicago wins this game. But I'm gonna give Indiana the benefit of the doubt because they playing at home. They playing at home, and don't forget my girl Kelsey Mitchell, man. If Kelsey Mitchell get hot, she was the best shooter on the team last year, not Caitlin Clark. So, so I'm thinking Indiana's gonna take that game. And then the last game on Saturday, Seattle at Phoenix. I got Seattle taking that game. And then you go to Sunday, Washington and Connecticut. Washington's going to win that game. And then Minnesota plays again, Minnesota and LA. And I got Minnesota again. So it's going to be a good weekend of basketball. A lot of fun. Lots of fun. Kev, New York, Las Vegas has no bench. Interesting. We'll see. We'll see. They did lose a lot of players, though. That is true. That is true. How much can they rely on Asia? They did lose a lot of players. You are right. You are correct. Yeah, a lot of injuries. I hope they get that settled, but that'll work itself out too. Used to watch your show on the Eagles channel, South Jersey. Okay, Panama Queen. Welcome. I appreciate you. South Jersey in the building. Don't be a stranger. Make sure you hit that subscribe. If y'all haven't hit the like button, what in the hell are you waiting for? So yeah. Me and Tone still do the show. Me and Tone still do the show every Sunday when we can. It's the off season. We call it the off season show, but we still go every Sunday. If we can't go on Sundays, like this past Sunday, we was traveling because Mother's Day, stuff like that. We still pick up the show. So me and Tone are still doing that. And I still do Eagles stuff intermittently, but the WNBA is kind of taking over right now. But there's still a lot of news going on. Always a lot of Eagles news. So, but I appreciate you. Albert Jimenez, the WNBA is in trouble because on Monday night, Brianna Stewart was moving around like she found the fountain of youth, because that's not the way she was going around last year. That's true. But let me see it in regular season. Because here's another thing and this is just my kind of observation. Are we going to see a level of fatigue from everybody that played in Unrivaled? Fee, Stewie, Angel, Aaliyah, Natasha, Courtney Williams, Chelsea, although Chelsea needed the rehab though. Are we going to see a level of fatigue from all of those players that played in Unrivaled? You saw Bonita Laney Hamilton. She's out for the year. They sat her down for the year. So that's something we got to look out for. Fever is going to cook Chicago. Okay. Backcourt and bench run too deep. We will see, man. We will see. I don't want to say I don't like. Everybody likes to predict, and basically everybody just talking shit. Because until I see it on the court, I got to see it on the court, man. And that's just the way that I'm wired. Because I can go back and tell you plenty of preseason champions. Plenty of teams, NFL, NBA, doesn't matter what sport. They went undefeated in the preseason and didn't make the playoffs. Like stuff like that all the time. And let's not forget, yes, Indiana has a much better roster, right? But Indiana limped their way to the playoffs last year and didn't win a game. And they got swept out of the playoffs. Now, was that the players? Was that the coach? I don't know. I know Christy Sides didn't shoot not one jump shot in the playoffs. So at some point in time, you got to blame it on the people that's on the court. And you got three starters that's coming back. You got Caitlin, Aaliyah, and Kelsey. Lexi Hall's coming off the bench, and then you got all of the new ones in there. Now, Dewana and Natasha have playoff experience. So maybe that's going to rub off. And now, Caitlin Clark making it to the playoffs her first year in. I mean, let's give her a little bit of credit. Indiana had like 6 wins the year before, something like that. It was crazy. It was not good. So to go from worst to first, or at least worst to the playoffs, is a huge improvement. So forget the visibility and Caitlin Clark being the most popular player. She can play. Now, I will say this. There were a lot of games that Kelsey Mitchell won, not Caitlin Clark. Because there was a couple games where Caitlin Clark couldn't hit a mirror in the bathroom. She was horrible. And Kelsey Mitchell saved the day. So but that's not going to be on all the time. You got to have somebody else that can pick up the slack. Trust me. I'm a Philadelphia Eagle. I just watched my Eagles go to the Super Bowl, and everybody was bitching, talking about we had a super team. Ain't that the point? Ain't that what you're supposed to do? Get a team and get great players at every position, if possible. That's what you're supposed to do, and that's what we did. That's what Indiana thinks they have right now. That's what they think they have. But it's got to play itself out on the court. So we'll see. Yeah, Alchemist, 100%. They play 40 games. Holler at me when after game. I say give me about 8. Give me about 5 to 8, and then you can figure out what you got. You can figure out what you got. So that's a fair assessment. Because it's gonna be a lot of noise. The first couple games, the first 2 weeks of the season, it's gonna be a lot of noise. It's going to be a lot of popping off, and your team didn't do this, or this player didn't do that. Paige didn't do this, or Paige did do that. So it's going to be a lot of that, but it's like, give it time. Let it, it's got to peak when everybody's taking off, and then they got to level out at some point in time. So, and once they level out, to your point, round 10 games, then we can see what we got. Then coaches know what their lineups are going to be. Then they know who's going to be running the point. Who's the best at bringing the ball up the court. Then you figure out all of that type of stuff. Who's really playing defense? All of that type of stuff. So it's going to be a good show, man. It's going to be a good show. Any team in the W can win on any night except the Valkyries. The Valkyries looked good in preseason, but again, that's preseason. Then they cut the best player on the court during their wins. They cut Minya Torre. So I don't know what they're going to do. We didn't even see Dantas. Yes, I talked about her the other day. I liked her last year, although I thought that she was overweight. And I could be wrong because, again, I never saw her before this point. But she always played meaningful minutes. She always gave you something. She always hit a couple of buckets, hits a 3 every now and then, not afraid to shoot it. I wish she was a little bit quicker on her feet, but maybe that's not her game. So I like Dantas. So I don't know what her issue is, but she was a good role player off the bench. I agree with that 100%. This is all about the Juju sweepstakes. But the one thing about Juju, you better be sure she's coming good off that knee. You got to be sure that knee has got to be tight. Your mental has got to be there. Your mind has to tell your body that it can go full speed. It can cross somebody over and your knee won't buckle. She's got to get past that part. I already know the knee is going to rehab just fine. She's got to get that mental right. And I'm sure she will. Van, Stewie is getting old. Yeah, Stewie is getting old. But and she put more tread on them tires because she did Unrivaled, and now she back with New York. So, we'll see. And they played the longest season last year, New York and Minnesota. So you're right. She getting old, and but she can still ball. She can still ball. Indiana Fever was 5 wins in 2022 and 13 wins in 23. Yeah, it wasn't good. It was not good. And I don't think Christy Sides did him any favors. But I think Christy Sides was because didn't nobody else want the job. So Sloot is an upgrade over Lindsey Allen. Agreed. Dana Evans and Onyenwere, but not an upgrade over Kennedy Carter. I agree with you 100%. I feel bad. Kennedy Carter just kind of, she a victim of her own track record. Ain't no two ways about it. Kennedy Carter should have been sixth man of the year last year, in my opinion. If Kennedy Carter plays those last few games for Chicago, they make it to the playoffs. I don't know if she was hurt. I don't know if she was sick. I don't know what it was. I know she wasn't on the court. And she would have made the difference because she was that good off the bench until Teaspoon had to start her. But I don't think it was the Caitlin Clark hip check that blackballed her. I think it was whatever happened in the locker room after the game that one time. I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back, and it was like, well, enough of this. Enough of this. But yeah, Kennedy Carter. I thought Kennedy Carter would get another opportunity to play in the league, especially with all of the injuries that happened in preseason. And again, let it play itself out. She might get another opportunity. She might come on over from Mexico and do what she got to do. So we'll see. I hope she does. She deserves it. But you got to keep that track record clean because I look at her and then you look at somebody like Courtney Williams. Go look at Courtney Williams' track record. She's pretty much cleaned it up. And I don't think she's had any, I don't think she's made any bad decisions on the court since she got into that fight. And that was an ugly fight. But you got other people that have been through some stuff. I mean, hell, look at Sedona Prince. The W said no, thank you. 6'7" star at TCU, and she don't even get drafted. Damn. But when you get in that type of trouble, you'll see. The Skies shoot a lot of threes. I mean, everybody shoot a lot of threes, man. So we'll see. I hope the Valks look decent. I think they will look decent. Two players I'm rooting for to be made as Valks. Carla Liette, yep, another one of those French players. And Janelle Saloon. Absolutely. Absolutely. I am highlighting every French player I see on the team this year. I'm going to do a video about specifically the French players because they, for whatever reason, they've just captured my interest. So, yeah, I do remember that. I remember when she ran smack dab in the Stewie in the first game when they played in New York. And it was like, hey, you got to keep your head on the swivel. She ran smack dab into that pick, and she dropped like a heap. And got to get on up and keep playing. WNBA fans will be shocked when the new Connecticut head coach embarrasses several senior WNBA coaches in terms of X's and O's, and he is by far the best all-season coach hire. We'll see. We shall see. I'm not familiar with him. I don't know where he came from, but we shall see. Is that the dude with all the long hair? Is that the dude in Dallas? Which guy's the dude with the long ass mullet? That's what it looks like. Boston is the only name I've been hearing. I don't know who said Boston Clovers earlier in the stream, but I thought that was a good name. But Boston is the only team I've been hearing about. I'm sure there are other cities that are interested in the Sun. So we'll see what happens. But Boston is the only city that I have heard about. Hope that J.C. Sheldon, Marina Mabry ball out for Connecticut. Yes, I like J.C. Sheldon. I got to give a shout out to all my girls from Ohio State. I'm an Ohio boy. I'm from Cincinnati. So if you from Ohio, you got my love. So J.C. Sheldon. And also my dark horse for Rookie of the Year. I don't know why I'm saying this, but I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks. Sarah Ashley Barker. Look out for Sarah Ashley Barker. Maybe it'll pan out. I don't know. But I like what she did in the tournament. I'm liking that she got an opportunity that she gonna be able to do some things. Also, that girl down in Atlanta, that damn Tahina Pow, she put on a show the other day, going toe to toe with Caitlin, firing up them threes. She was the best 3-pointer in college, wasn't she? And of course, she from South Carolina. My girl's Dawn Staley, Philly girl. So I got to give Tahina Pow. She one of my players to watch this year. Definitely one of my players to watch. Yep. Rebecca Allen. Yep, you're right. Yeah. Yeah. I saw the video on YouTube and I was like, ooh, yeah, that wasn't a good look. Wasn't a good look. Conklin. Is that his name? Conklin? Yeah, he's the guy with the mullet. Yeah, he got the mullet. Um, what's up, Nancy? How you doing? You're not late. You're always on time. Everywhere you're supposed to be. Caitlin this year, I think the only thing I want Caitlin to do is drop the turnovers. That's it. And like I mentioned earlier, a lot of the turnovers weren't on her. A lot of the turnovers weren't on her. People just dropping passes and just not ready for them. And that comes with knowing your personnel and just getting more experience with certain players. So I'm expecting the turnovers to drop this year, and the points to I don't know if the points will go up, but it's possible. It's possible. So we'll see. But listen, like I said the other day, there is somebody on every WNBA team that I want to watch. Every team, whether they're rookies. I'm hoping with Golden State. I hope Kate Martin gets an opportunity to shine. I hope she gets on the court. She's not just picking splinters. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we'll see a little bit more of her. Um, like I said, with New York, I like Jonquel Jones. I want to see more of Jonquel Jones, and I want to see Marine Johannes. Chicago, Camilla, Angel Reese. I want to see HVL get into the lineup. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know how Tyler Marsh is going to mix that up. And of course, Indiana. We all know. Seattle, Gabby Williams and Dominique Malonga. That's what I'm tuning in for. I think Gabby Williams is going to be, other than the Indiana Fever because they own 41 times, Gabby Williams is the person I want to see the most, to be honest with you. Phoenix. Who am I missing on Phoenix? Hold on. Phoenix Mercury. Follow. Let me see. So they had a roster out. There we go. Okay. Sabley. Definitely want to see Sabley. Ka Copper, man. Got to give Ka Copper. Now, she another Philly girl, but what she did in the Olympics, Kalia Copper ain't no joke. Kalani Brown, Catherine Westbell, Alyssa Thomas. So, yeah, Sabley. I definitely want to watch Sabley. Sabley and Kalia. I want to see if Kalia Copper can take it to another level. Yeah, Nancy, Gabby. I fell in love with Gabby in the Olympics. I ain't gonna lie. Gabby was oof. She was that girl. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, I agree, Kev. I think the assists are gonna go up. She has been working on her mids. I did see that. She did a couple floaters in preseason. So that is definitely something that she has been working on. But we'll see. We'll see how it manifests in the game. So I hope our efficiency goes up with more talent on the floor. Defense will play her more honest. Yeah, I agree. Yep. Alyssa Thomas in Phoenix. Yep. She gonna have more triple doubles. What's up, 3K? When is my next Eagles show? You got some stuff to get off your chest. Me and Tone will probably hook back up on Sunday. Sunday at 11 o'clock. We do the Eagles off-season show. So absolutely. Every Sunday at 11. We still got our off-season show. So we're gonna be doing that. I'm gonna be doing double duty, man. I'm still talking about the birds, and I'm still talking about W. So, but yeah, man, we got a lot of stuff, man. Lots of stuff. Who else we got? Fever, Kennedy Burke. There we go. The New York roster. Kennedy Burke, Natasha Cloud, Marquisha Davis, Leonie Febish. Leonie was pretty damn good last year in the finals. Rebecca Gardner, Izzy Harrison, Sabrina Ionescu. I really, 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 really like Sabrina Ionescu, but she was not good in the finals last year. She just wasn't. She could not hit a mirror in a bathroom last year. She hit that one shot to go into overtime, and the rest of the time, she was not good. I did not understand that at all. And in spite of that, they still won it. New York tried to give that series away multiple times, and Minnesota just could not capitalize. Couldn't do it. Uh, what do I think about the Sun? I truly hope the group in Boston will buy them to keep them with their fans in New England. That would make the most sense. That would make the most sense, but we'll see. Funny thing when they do business like this, you never know. Um, how you say Sabrina's thumb needed surgery in the finals? Didn't let anyone know. Uh, didn't need to bring in Izzy. Well, they did because if that's what it was last year, okay, I'll take your word for it. But she was hot garbage in the finals. It was Sabrina was not good at all, and I love Sabrina, love Sabrina, but oof, I got to keep it a buck. That was not good. Pre-made fan base. What else we got? Storm. We did that. Let's see. Did we do Connecticut? I thought I had Connecticut on here. Connecticut Sun. And Tina Charles. No space for hate. Interesting. They back on this again. No space. No space for hate. I just I just hope that they don't go try to go full ham like they did last year with this stuff. And it's like y'all got to stop. Like you can't rein in social media. The only thing you can do is choose not to deal with it. I say this all the time. This is like if you grew up and you saw that movie War Games, you understand what I'm saying. The only winning move is not to play. If you're familiar with the NFL, you know Coach Hermat with don't press in. That's the only thing you can do to really combat this type of stuff. Just don't engage with it. The greatest invention known to man is the on-off switch. Use it because you can't go back and forth. What you can't do is tell somebody what they can and can't say, whether you like it or not. That's the one thing you can't control. You can't control what somebody else is going to say in their space. Now, if you get to the arena and somebody's mouthing off and being disrespectful by the side, by the bench or something like that, security will get them. They got shotgun mics in arenas, and so they can zoom in and hear what people are saying, all that type of stuff. So, um, but when they at home being keyboard warriors, you can't control that. The only thing you can do is not engage. So I hope put your message out, but don't dwell on it. Don't dwell on it. Don't speak on it because the minute you speak on it, you just giving people power to keep it going. That's the best advice I can get. I don't come from that time. I don't come from. I'm so glad I played. When I was with the Eagles, there was no social media. I graduated college before Windows 95 existed. I laugh every time I say that. I graduated college in 1993. That was my rookie year with the Eagles. Windows 95 did not exist. I went through college on DOS, and I was a computer aided designer. I was like a designer. you know, computer aided design and manufacturing. I was CAD CAM, so I worked on computers, but yeah, I learned on DOS. um, yeah, New York Liberty have a considerable bigger squad this year because of Leonie Feebridge and Izzy Harrison, Rebecca Gardner. You know, with Isabella Harrison, basically, are they getting another spot because of Laney Hamilton not being there? Can't they recoup that spot? Can they bring somebody else and not lose? And they still, because she's hurt, they suspended her contract for the year. So can't they give somebody else that roster spot? And then they still acquire Bonita's rights next year, so they still get the right of first refusal. So the New York Liberty get a win on that in that front, so they can bring somebody else in and fill that slot. So we'll see. We'll see what they do. What's 1, 2, 3, 4? So they okay. So they got 12. Is that why they kept Jalen Sherrod? Jalen Sherrod was streaky in the preseason. She had really good energy, but I thought she was a little streaky. It's like she would get out of control. But I'm not real familiar with her game, so um, and plus I like Sandy Brondello. I really like her as a coach, and she's one of the people I trust her. I trust her. So it is what it is. She knows good. So it doesn't count as a spot. That's what I thought. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they can do. Like I said, they gotta listen. If you're just gonna go by what you see in preseason and looking at the roster, tell me why. Tell me why it's so hard to believe that New York might end up in the finals again and repeat. Why is that hard to believe? That could very well happen. Absolutely, it could happen. So come on, Albert. Yeah, I played for Kotite, bro. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I played for Kotite. Randall Cunningham was my quarterback. Herschel Walker was one of my fellow running backs. Heath Sherman, Eric Allen, William Thomas, Seth Joyner, Byron Evans, Clyde Simmons, The Fridge, Tim Harris, Keith Millard, Eric McMillan, Mark McMillan, Andre Waters, Wes Hopkins, Mark Bavaro, Rich Miano, Calvin Williams, Fred Barnett, Brian Baldinger, um, Antone Davis, Lester Holmes, Vaughn Hebron. Trying to remember all the people that I played with that year in '93. That was my rookie year. So yeah. Um, yeah. We'll see, man. But that's the other thing, man. I mentioned that before, Nancy. I don't know if you heard when I was saying, is there going to be a fatigue factor from all of the women that played in Unrivaled? Ain't that what happened to Bonita? She got injured in Unrivaled, and then and not for nothing, is Angel's wrist okay? Again, this is preseason. Let's wait till we get to the regular season. She take a couple tumbles, then we'll be able to see what's what. Uh, Loved it. Yeah, RC was good people, man. Randall hosted me. Um, you as a rookie, and I'm from Cincinnati. I'm from Ohio. Went to Eastern Kentucky, signed with the Eagles as a free agent, undrafted free agent, and made the team. So all of the vets would host some of the rookies up there. So Randall hosted me for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So at least in '93, I got to spend Thanksgiving and Christmas with Randall Cunningham. So that was cool. Um, yeah, we gonna see a lot of that. Just like you looked at last year, you looked at the fatigue that Caitlin Clark had, and then she took that break, that Olympic break, Her not going to the Olympics was the best thing that could have happened to her. And she came back and lit them up in that second half of the season. So now she got a whole off season. She got rest. She didn't play it unrivaled. I know they was trying to get her. They were trying to pay her a shit ton of money because they knew what that would have done for her for the unrivaled viewership if they could have got Caitlin Clark on board. But she stuck to her guns and didn't play, and she gonna be better for it. My honest opinion: do you think Caitlin Clark is where she is because she's that good at her craft, or other factors are just it? I'll assume you're talking about the isms and the ists. You know what that is. But in my opinion, she that good. Like, let's not forget, she took Iowa to the finals twice, back to back. Unfortunately, she ran into the buzzsaw of two very good teams. LSU was that team. LSU was just a better team. And then she ran into the buzzsaw of Dawn Staley and the undefeated South Carolina Gamecocks. Caitlin Clark suffered from one of the worst Murphy Law situations I've ever seen. The only player that or team that has experienced worse is the Buffalo Bills, going to 4 straight Super Bowls and losing all 4. She went to back-to-back finals and lost twice. At least Dawn Staley got one out of them. And then Dawn Staley ran into the buzzsaw. That was Paige Beckers. And really, that was UConn and Sarah Strong. Paige Beckers was good. AZ Fudd was better. Sarah Strong was the best. Sarah Strong should have been tournament MVP, in my opinion, not AZ Fudd. But I ain't mad at AZ Fudd. I ain't mad at that at all. I just thought Sarah Strong was a little bit better. To do what she did in that tournament as a true freshman was absolutely incredible. She should have been the most valuable player of that tournament. But to answer the question, do I think Caitlin Clark was that good? Absolutely. Absolutely, I do. Because you know what? Somebody had to hit them shots. She had to get on the court and do it game after game after game. And you know what? If you go back and you look at them games, them 2 years at Iowa, when they lost games, is because her teammates wasn't hitting shots. There's plenty of games when what's her name? When Kate Martin and Hannah Stuckey saved her bacon and saved Iowa's bacon. But when Caitlin Clark was off and Kate Martin was off and Hannah Stuckey wasn't dominant down low, couldn't get it done. Same way in Indiana. Same way when she was with the Fever. When Caitlin Clark was off, Kelsey Mitchell took over. One of them had to be on. And like I said, Kelsey Mitchell, I believe, shot 37% from deep last year when Caitlin Clark only shot 32. Kelsey Mitchell was the better shooter last year. And she saved Indiana's bacon for, I want to say, at least 5-6 games. Easy. But it's a team game. She ain't gonna be on every. She a shooter. She ain't gonna be on every night. So somebody else gonna have to pick up the slack. So, and you see, one of the reasons they were struggling because Kelsey Mitchell was hurt early in the year, and when she finally got it together, they came back in spades. Yeah, man, I done seen some of Caitlin's workout tapes, so she gets it in. That's never been up for discussion. Yeah, Nancy, they ain't had the depth. Like I said, LSU was a better team. LSU was a much better team. Yeah, 4 in a row. 4 in a row, stupid kicker. Ugh. Keep wondering what would have been in terms of the rivalry between CC and Paige if Paige doesn't miss 2 seasons. They were on USA. Yeah, yeah, that would have been good. Yeah, or if UConn didn't lose that BS game to LSU that year with the moving pick call. That was LSU, I think. It was a bullshit call though. Yeah, Iowa did not have any bigs. Hannah Stokey is 6'3", and that I think that was it. Um, Had Jerome Brown not tragically passed away, the Eagles could have been gone to the Super Bowl because he was a monster. Yeah, when him and Jerome Brown and Reggie White were still playing together. 91, I believe, was the last year they were together. Um, Jerome Brown passed away in 92 because I remember being in camp the year after that happened, and I remember the Eagles did something for Jerome Brown's widow and the family, and like they came up and we met him and all of that type of stuff. As a team, we met him. So that was still the whole Jerome Brown thing was very fresh on the team when I came to the Eagles. That was still on a lot of people's minds. Yeah, Monica Shiano. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't very. It wasn't a good situation. It wasn't a good situation at all, and it cost them. It cost them. So, but yeah, man, we gotta. I'm excited, man. I'm ready to rock and roll for this season. I'm ready to rock and roll for this season. So, um, I'll be checking out the games. Trying to figure out a way I can do. I'm gonna live stream it, but obviously I'm not gonna. I can't broadcast it, or else YouTube will give me a strike. I still don't know how these dudes from overseas be doing that. I guess the rules in China and all these other places are different because um, I tried to stream it one time. I ended up getting a strike. I was like, I ain't doing that shit no more. So, but usually what I do is have the ESPN game by game on, and then I have my screen set up with the score and different stats and stuff like that. And it's like an open forum. We'll still talk and we'll still do some things. Um, so it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Day one. Got to get online and buy my merch. Got to go ahead and re-up the league pass. I don't know if I should do the league pass or I should do the teams. Like if I want to watch New York, I'll get the New York pass or I'll get the Seattle pass because sometimes WNBA. I don't know what it is about the WNBA feed. Does this happen to you when you watching the game and in the fourth quarter the resolution just goes to shit? Or has that just happened to me? Because I'll watch the games on the league pass, and for whatever reason, in the fourth quarter, it's like the resolution just goes in the tank. And I'm like, what the hell happened? So I don't know. That could be me. Yeah, I might. I'm gonna test it out because I did the league pass last year. I mean, it's $34. You know, you'll waste that on a trip to damn McDonald's these days. Um, but yeah, I'll make that decision. But so we'll see. We'll see what's gonna happen. But I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna get me something to eat. Make sure the wife is good. And you guys check me out tomorrow. If you haven't hit that like button and subscribe and all that kind of good stuff, please do it now. Before I get up out of here, I want to thank everybody for coming in the chat. The chat is growing. The subs is growing. I just reached um, 7,000 subscribers today. So I still got my goal to reach 10,000 by July. My birthday is in July. So my lofty sky goal was to reach 10,000 by July. I got some work to do. You know what I'm saying? I got 3,000 subscribers in a couple of months. That's a tall hill to climb. But what do they say? It only takes one video. All it takes is one. So tell your friends about me. Tell your friends, family, coworkers, play cousins, all that type of stuff to join in. Tell them that you know this ex-football player that's talking about the NBA and he's trying to keep it real. How about that? But all right, we're gonna get up out of here. Everybody, Albert, great benefactor. Nancy, you was bringing the heat tonight. I appreciate you. Henry T. Hurley Jr. I appreciate you, brother. Um, Anybody else forgetting? Kent Carlson, If I forget you, charge it to my head, not my heart, man. Um, Kev the PRF as usual, bro. The Alchemist, I appreciate you. Everybody in the chat, man. Hawkeyes Hoops Haven. I appreciate you, Hawkeyes. Ghost of Jerry Gerolitis. I like that. You've been in here before. Gregory Bonds, I've seen you before. Vance. Um, appreciate you, man. Everybody, man. Wody Mac. Everybody that's been in the chat, man. I appreciate y'all. We're gonna do this again tomorrow with the very first WNBA game of the 2025 season. Be there or be square. All right, I'm gonna get up out of here. Enjoy y'all night, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.